Damn, you switch pod. The boys are back. How are you, Chris?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Kodas. I'm good. Kodas, how you doing, man?
The Dan Carters are podcasting, man. I'm good myself, you know. They call me Eben Betzer Beth, pay me in film, sir. I'm in a good mood this
Fabian
week.
Phillips, sir.
Yeah, and you know what? It's time to pay the piper this week because Ireland, you know, they've been
Yeah.
number one, but now it's time to pay the piper. It's time
Yes.
to see if they really are number one. It's gonna be and I don't think they're
Mm.
number one. I'll be the first one to say it. I think
Okay.
they're on fraud watch, and we know they've been on
Okay.
fraud watch at number one of world rugby, and but we'll dive deeper. We'll dive deeper.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Look, I don't want to disrespect Ireland or anything like that, but you know, the Boks need to do it, man.
Yeah,
And I believe we're going to do it. You know, so yeah, we must dig into these guys, and show them that the real bastards are us, that the real
yeah,
bastards are us of world rugby. We're the ones that are ruthless. We're the ones that put teams away, and I think we saw that on the weekend. The focus, scoreline aside, forget scoreline, the focus, the
yeah,
intensity at which they respected Romania. You know what I mean? And that's what they meant by respect. And we're gonna show them that we're bastards. So yeah,
yeah. But let's actually start.
quietly confident.
Yeah, let's actually start with news of the day. Just announced. I don't even know if you've
Mm.
seen it yet. They know our recording times. They even released it right before we got started here. Bok team. The first thing that jumps off the page, 7-1 split.
Okay. Okay.
It, it just tells me that, I just
Because
saw it on
I
social.
haven't seen the team yet. I haven't seen the team yet. So I'm hearing it from you. So okay,
No,
seven
go
one.
see it. Go see
All
it. Go
right.
see it as I'm talking to you. Go see it as I'm talking to you. But the thing is, it's a 7-1
Okay.
split. Um, Immediately I just saw on social someone saying, then that means that really being injured against the All Blacks was fake. It was in the plans all along. If that was supposed to be an issue where Philly LaRue got injured, we brought in Quaka Smith and it was just supposed to be a one-time thing, then why are we doing it against Ireland? It was always in the plan.
Mm.
Just like how they said
Mm.
Marco van Staden's always been playing hooker at practice.
Yeah.
Seemingly these
Yeah.
things they've always been in the works.
Yeah. But I mean, I think we've always known that the coaches have got they've always had their plan. We've been going on about what we would like to see. And
Yeah.
granted, I think somewhere along the line they do take the public's opinion on board, and they because that's what they wanted when they started. They said we want people to talk about the Springboks and whatnot. Then they do respond. Wherever they respond, wherever there's concerns. To say okay, or why are you not bringing in a hooker, this, that, and the other, So I think they've always been engaging. And with this team, I'm just looking at it now. There, I'm just looking at it now. Yeah, I have an opinion here. Just looking at this, the first thing that jumps out to me is no Dwayne Vermeulen.
Yeah.
You
The
know,
same thing.
for
The same
me,
thing. That was the second thing that stood out for me is there's no Visa. I mean, sorry, there's no Vermeulen and there's no Willie Leroux. That means that
mm,
Visa and Damian Willems are now they are big game starters in those positions. They've passed the torch on the older guys.
yeah, that's exactly it. Now this is the game, to say, okay, guys, it's going to be a tough test, and you guys going from here on out have to carry the can. You are the future,
Yeah.
especially in these positions, because I mean, if you look at it, it's along the spine, so I don't really have a problem with the team. All I can say, we've been saying it. We've got guys. We've
Yeah.
got guys. Now this is just a different mix of how they want to see the guys play. We just need to sit back and watch and and unleash the bastards, man. Unleash the bastards. Let them. That's the thing, because that's what we need to. We need to be ruthless against these guys,
Yeah.
and be relentless. And by the look at this team, that's exactly what the Springboks want to take them to a place they've never been before.
They're gonna drag them into
that's
deep
what we need to do.
Yeah, they've never come against a 7-1 split.
Yes.
But for me, with that Willemse thing, I think it also puts a nail in the coffin of Willemse at 10. I mean, we're gonna speak about the Romania game, but as a 10, I think that experiment at Bok level is over. Especially them bringing in Pollard. But once again, we'll get to that. Front row, as expected. Kitso from Bonambi, Malherbe, Etzebeth. There were worries that his injury was first reported a week, 10 days. Then I don't know who was saying what, that it was now longer. It's now knockouts. He's back. Franco Mostert played well at lock. He's back. Sia, Dutoy, Visser. Seems like he's big game Visser now. We've got Faf, Lobok. Backline, we know that backline. It's the backline. Mapimpi as well as Mapimpi did. He's also, I think, the same thing that's happening now with Visser and Willemse. It's happened to Mapimpi maybe a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Look, and at the end of the day, we heard it from the man himself, and he said it's all a team. They know exactly what their objectives are. And if you look at that team, everybody, we've got guys, so we shouldn't cry. It's just this week it's a different weapon being utilized. That's all that we have to look at it as. So there's different weapons, that we're gonna go out there and we need to cut these guys apart and hurt them, and I think there's that we've got the brutality is there, it'll always be there, Then we've got the silkiness and the bravery, especially in the backs and particularly the back three, I think we're going to see some good things, especially on transition with Kirtley, if we get those opportunities, and the bench, you look at you can't say,
the bench, Fourie, I have more faith in Fourie, which is justified in that he has played hooker for a number of years. Even when you see his lineouts, his lineouts are that of a hooker. When you see Van Staden throwing in, I believe in Van Staden, but if I haven't seen you in a URC game, I can't expect you to play at this level. So even when you see his lineout throwing, it's that of a player that's playing hooker. It's not that of a hooker. Deon Fourie was throwing like a hooker. When you just look at the timing, you look at the timing, the lock shouldn't be in the air and then you're hitting him. It should come as one. It's all timing issues that you learn over years of playing the position. Fourie's got that. Ox, he's been playing. Nyakani, he's been playing. John Klein, a bit wobbly this weekend, but I think maybe that's just down to conditions. It wasn't good, but we'll deep dive further.
But he put in a shift though. But it's his time now as well to say, okay, until they were your friends. Now, until they were your friends.
No, he crossed enemy lines and then he came back again. So we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see what secrets he has for us.
Yeah, that's what it is when he comes on. I think that's exactly what you're expecting. I mean, if you look at Jean-Claude RG, that's where the powerhouse is going to lie with that bench. Where I'm expecting to see penetration there, and Ox, of course. So and also, like, I mean, look at that whole bench. It's very difficult not to expect big impact, from each of those individuals. And Reinach is, he's done what is asked of him, and
he did. Although I will say I would have probably gone with Grant Williams. I think Grant Williams off the bench, but maybe Grant Williams is the guy that when we go 6-2, he's the guy. Maybe they're viewing him as this. Kwagga,
different recipe.
Different recipe. Kwagga makes us be able to play a 7-1 split because he can also, if there's another injury, he can full backline. So it's a strong team. Like, maybe I've also got to put my faith in Reinach the same way before maybe Esterhazen, I wasn't too high on his stocks. I think, but you guys are Sharks guys. That's why you can support these guys. Me,
Yeah,
it's a bit harder for me to get behind them. So I'm coming
yeah,
slowly behind them.
no, obviously, like, but the thing is, can I tell you, it's based on, I think, for especially from a Sharks perspective, you've seen what the Sharks guys can do. They've shown the potential, particularly when they were at the Sharks, and that's why, when you see them there, you back them still.
Yeah.
And you look, Grant Williams, the connection is there. It's from the same. It's from the same. Look, at the end of the day, we support the boys. I think we said it last week. And I'll say it again. Regardless of who they put out there, all we gotta do is say, okay, yeah, no, and see that these guys they can do it and have those expectations that they will do it.
Yeah. From my side, I think we will do well. I think we will do well. Ireland, I think they're pretenders more than anything, if I'm being brutally honest. I think that they don't have the heritage in this tournament that we have. They haven't climbed the mountain. We've climbed the mountain. I know I'm being a bit harsh, but I just don't think at this, when it comes down to the wire, when it comes down to, we're not talking about rankings leading up, we're not talking about 4 years leading up, when we're talking about the moment, I don't think they'll get in the moment. And even if they do, they're not going to pass the quarterfinals anyway. So even if they do, they're not going to pass quarterfinals.
Yeah, I was about to go there to say, look, we have to give them credit and say, look, they deserve the flowers that they're getting for being where they are. Being number one. Yes, we recognize that. But as you mentioned, the heritage of the Springboks in this tournament, and just in terms of what it means for the Boks, and the fact that we have a score to settle. You know what I mean? There's things that we have to correct, especially against Ireland. And yeah, even if Ireland is good. They play good rugby. Let's not take that away from them. They play good rugby. They do. But I think our guys have they've got that a little bit more. We should pull this. We should win this. But at the same time, I wouldn't be what you call it, sad or whatever, or now world is ending if they're to sneak it, because that's the only way that that I believe that they would win, is if they sneak it. There's a decision here where it's questionable, because we've seen over the past weekend there's plenty of questionable decisions. We've been saying that they're coming, and they just, it's a gift that keeps on giving. So we must also potential scenario happening. But even in that scenario, I'm still not worried. I'm still not worried.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm looking at the last performance that they had against Tonga, the Tonga side, they hammered them.
They disappointed me, man. They disappointed.
Yeah, they hammered them. And the thing is, I will say Ireland are the only team that they can beat our rush defense. They have that in the centers there. They have the ability to get the ball away. And you even saw it in this Tonga match. They have their ability to get the ball away. It's only the All Blacks and France. Yeah, they have that ability. I think it's only the All Blacks and France that are other teams that can really beat that rush and make that final pass that the Springboks defense always dares you to make. They're the only team that can do that. So I will give them that, and that is where they pose the most danger. Although they hammered Tonga, there was a lot of space around the rucks there. There was a lot of, I don't know what was going on there, if it's a coaching thing or what, but there was that kind of space is not going to be there this week.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. There's just too much space, and it allowed Ireland to sort of, to pick their defense. And credit to them, they showed their quality that, if you give them the opportunity, they'll pick your defense apart, where guys will go through, score untouched and whatnot, but look, this weekend is a different ball game. This is a different ball game. This is now to say this is the physical battle that that they haven't had. This is the physical battle that they haven't had. They don't know this. I think just looking, for me, I'm basing it off the focus that I saw from these Boks this past weekend. And no, they haven't seen this, and the control. I keep going back to even from the beginning, the control. That they show in their assertiveness. They know exactly what they're doing. They don't care. They're doing what they're doing. They don't know that. And I'm looking forward to seeing more of that. Because we need to shut these guys up as well. Because ever since they beat New Zealand in New Zealand, they've just been,
Yeah, they think that one is a rivalry, even though they've won like 4 games in 100 years. That one is not a rivalry. But yeah, even if they beat us, they're not going to make it past the quarterfinals, because I'd really back France or New Zealand to get over, to get that win. Whereas with us, if we face France or New Zealand, I feel like we have a better chance either way.
Yeah. But it's still tight. It's the World Cup. But but we back our boys.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. We back our boys. Moving on to this game, I think it's tough because there's not much you can learn from. They say you learn more in defeat. And I think that it shows in this game, because what can we even take from this win? There's not much you can take, because the opposition, it wasn't at the level that it should be. Plus the rain, it's like what can you really take away from the game?
For me, I this is my thing. I'm even I'm going to give out an award. The top bastard award. Because I think that is for me what you can take away from it is that focus, that intensity. Yes, there were moments where it sort of dropped off, but they kept the foot on the throat. They kept going. The decision making, in certain situations, I believe that there's those that you can take out, where maybe they, could have made a different choice, or good decisions. It just reinforces what they're doing. Yes, but I mean, if you look at the work that Kwacha was doing at the breakdown, it's still the breakdown. It's still Romania, and I think for me, he was, he was top bastard, because he was brutal there. For me, he was, in terms of that aspect, he was just bringing it continuously, and that's what we're going to need, against the Irish, and that's why it's there. That's why I said they don't know, and he looks jacked, that guy now, right? So I don't know if those croissants do that or what, but yeah, man. So that's what for me you can take out.
Farm strength.
That's why for me, that's why I say that's what you can take out from this game, is that these guys are definitely dialed in. Regardless of who's in front of them, they dialed in to what they want to do.
Yeah, the game came, against the backdrop of Marx being ruled out. There was speculation. Dweba, Pollard is now on the team sheet for Leicester. They're not naming Dweba. I think the longer time went by, the more we are convinced that it was going to be Pollard. And to be brutally honest, I personally, I feel for Dweba. I feel like maybe we should have named 3 hookers in the squad initially, but at this point, I think it's better to get Pollard in now, get him in the pool stages, than to bring him in the week of a knockout match.
Yeah, and look, let's be real here. The only real out and out fly off in the team is Mani.
Yeah.
So
in a worse position than with the hookers, or in the same position as the hookers.
As the hookers. So it makes sense to bring in a fly off. Yes, you feel for Dweba, but you have to look at it from that perspective, is that, so right now, he's not even riding bench for this game. He's riding stands. And we don't even know. He's not even saying that he's going to play. maybe you play against what you call it, against Tonga. Probably that's where you'll play, just so you can get a hit out. But there's no guarantee that he's going to be on the bench unless Mane absolutely botches it this weekend. And I don't believe that he will. Although I think the Irish will try to target him, but I don't think that he will. I think he'll be okay. So it makes sense to bring Pollard in. It's a tough decision, but it makes sense.
And the thing is, they've said it seems like the emphasis is on different skill sets. Rassi said if it was Mbonambi that was out, they'd bring in Dweba immediately. It's just that, it's like for like. So they wanted a different skill set. That's why they've taken Deon Fourie in the first place. They want a different skill set, someone more like Marx.
Yes.
So and it's the experience. You have to say that's even why I said Deon Fourie got the nod ahead of Dweba in the first place, because of that experience. Not a test level, but he's a more seasoned guy.
And he's played there in France, so however.
Dweba also played in France, but it was short in comparison.
Yeah, but Fourie, I think he was a bit more successful, in that regard. But I'm just saying that, whatever that will bring to the team, and at the end of the day, it's that thing that we spoke about with Fourie, that's the stopping ability when, a team is getting a roll on, and his ability to just cut that out, and that's where I'm hoping to see Bongi improve as well there at the breakdown, to be more effective, because he can. In 2019, he was doing a lot of that, so he can, Fourie, I think that's, again, like they said, like for like, in most aspects that are more important, except maybe height wise and whatnot. But he's a big player. He's a big player, Deon Fourie, and he looks more comfortable. He looks, he's up to pace with test rugby. So yeah, man, it's tough. Yes, can understand.
You back a man named Branas. With a name like Branas, you have to back. You have to back that.
Dangerous, that guy, man.
But yeah, so like I said, this game, it was hot in the beginning, but around the 20-minute mark, started pouring down with rain. That also killed it a bit, because we got that fast start, we got the tries. I don't know if there's too much to take from it. The only thing for me is the goal kicking. Obviously, they brought in Pollard. That's something it's a lingering issue. The restarts, granted, there were many restarts because we scored many tries. Some of them, I think we could have done better, especially against this level of opposition. I think they managed to tap it back once. Another time we knocked it on, but also...
Yes. But then twice maybe they tapped it back, maybe. Actually, but still, it's
another area that persists.
You see, so there's improvement there. So there's things that they know that they can improve on. And that's what we're expecting to do.
Other things for me is just handling issues, but of course it was raining. I think in the Lanos as well. Maybe we just need to adjust a bit more to, if there's going to be a knockout game in the rain, maybe we just need to keep. But I think we were still playing the same structures we always play. It wasn't to say, okay, it's raining, guys, let's keep it tighter. I think they went out there with the intention of, we're just going to keep on playing how we play.
Yes, and the thing is, you should be able to. I don't see anything wrong with trying to execute that, because look, we all know the Boks have got a kicking game, right? So it's fine. And this time around they were carrying more, in terms of, and they're carrying more in terms of making those meters. Okay, yes, there's the kicks, but they didn't deviate, so in a tight game against France, where maybe it's France or whoever, and you're going to need that something, you need to be confident in that. Even if it is raining, you're still able to, if that's what the situation requires, that, you move the ball, because I still think, yes, 3 points and, penalties and whatnot is important, but hey, this World Cup, guys are wanting to score tries and, break defenses. So I think that's going to be important, to be able to do that.
Which we did.
Especially when you have a team on the ropes.
We did that. I think there was, again, much like the Tonga match, there was a lot of space. There was space around the rucks. Where there wasn't space, we'd create space. We suck them in. Ball goes wide. Mapimpi did a good job there. Only thing I will say is Moody. He had a bit of a shocker at times with there. I think he wanted to get in on the try scoring. That's why he didn't let that ball go. But there should have been another try there.
Yeah, but you see, and that's that decision making, and he'll grow from that. You know, he will grow from that because look, he had a bit of a quiet run in terms of naming the lights, but I think he did a lot of good work as well. You know, I really think he did a lot of good work. He ran some good lines, he did what he was required to do. You know, and that which he wanted to do, to show for himself, he maybe didn't quite get there, it didn't go his way. But he'll only grow from this, man.
Yeah, I think he sometimes you've got to let the game come towards you. I think he was trying to force it a bit, going for kicks over where maybe he should have just taken contact or looked for other options. But yeah, like you said, he'll learn from it, and I'm sure he got an earful from Rusty and Nina to say, hey, it's about the team. It's not about you trying to get in on the scoring action.
Yeah. Yeah, exuberance of youth. Let's allow him to be youthful. He's allowed.
Yeah, other than that, I mean, 4 scrum halves in the matchday squad. Guys interchanged well. Van Staden played hooker. The lineouts, like I believe in Eskom. I believe in him as a player, great player. The only thing is, if you haven't played senior rugby at hooker, it's always going to be a bit of a problem. So I don't really take too much from that. I think it was just we used our rotations well. Guys got a hit out. It was basically like a captain's run.
Yeah. Look, that's what it was. They got what they needed to get from it. And I think it was just good for Van Staden to get that. Okay, live the live feed. In terms of this is what it's like in a match situation. In the event, it's a break class. In an emergency situation. Hopefully it doesn't get there, but if there's some innovation needed and it benefits the team, going against the grain, as they say, then what? I'm all for it if it's going to bring back the cup. At the end of the day, that's all we want.
Yeah, you never know. He might even come on at hooker during this game. He's on the bench.
At the end of the day, we just want to win, my man. At the end of the day, man.
Any closing remarks from you, Chris?
Look, Tonga for me were disappointing. I wanted them to do what the Fijians and the Samoans. I thought they were at that level, but it seems like they have a long way to go. I was sad about Japan. Good rugby. Fijians, they deserve it. They should be two for two.
Yeah.
And they know it. But yeah, just Springboks. Look, it's in their hands. It really is. It literally is in their hands. It's for them to give away, basically. So yeah, and we still back the boys. It's we're on the way. We're on the way. After this one, we're on the way.